everybody. Today I am doing a challenge video. I'm going to tag a few people and we're going to kind of do this challenge like the ice bucket challenge type of thing. What it is go through your hunting gear and put yourself in a situation that you would have to survive in. Well, right now it is cold and I usually hunt when it's warm for what my pack is set up for, but we're just going to give it a try. So we'll go through what I've got in my pack and then we'll go get set up and we're going to spend the night tonight outside, and it is going to be about 33 to 29 degrees, and it's going to be snowing and raining all night long. So I picked a great night to do this and we're going to give it a try. So let's go through the gear and see what we got. So this is my pack. This is what I carry muzzleloader deer hunting. Fanny packs are cool if they're camo. So in this pocket I've always got my headlamp. That'll be handy. I've got my primers, 2 knives, and that one, a primer extractor for my Thompson Center. We'll go into the big case. Got my Pyrex pellets. I need to buy some more of those. And always handy, the mountain money. Never leave home without mountain money. Bullet seeder, that's not going to be used at all. That was my dad's. Very handy, not cutting that up for anything during this video. Now we got the good old timer, double bladed. I got a thing for knives. I need to go through this bag and clean it out. That's it for that pouch. And this one I've got my quick loads, some more primers, the insert for a Thompson Center ramrod. And that's where that went. That's handy. And the back pouch, we've got an outdoor edge, knife and gut hook, and the saw. Like I said again, I've got a thing for knives, and I've got a Swiss Army knife in there. That's handy. And Barnes X bullets. No use in this video since I will not be carrying my muzzleloader. And last but not least, magnesium flint stick. Used it a few times, just trying it out, make sure I could actually use it in case I actually need it. And that's what this video is about. So we will go give this stuff a try. But I am in deep crap for the weather we have tonight. So on top of what I have in my bag, I usually always have 2 bottles of water and a couple protein bars, Cliff bars, something to eat while I'm hiking along. I usually don't get too far from the truck, just a couple miles. But that's kind of why I want to do this video. Is everybody always thinks, oh, I'm just a couple miles from the truck. It's just right there. Camp is just over that ridge. And then the worst happens. You always hear something in the news. Somebody's always getting lost, breaking a leg. Their arrow is coming out of their quiver and stabbing them in the leg. Or their gun misfires or something and they shoot themselves in the foot or the leg or what have you, and then it turns into a survival situation. Or you just simply get lost and then you got to spend the night to where you can find your bearings in the morning, or your rest of your hunting party can find you. That's kind of why I wanted to make this video, is to make you think, what do I have in my pack? What can I do to my pack to up my survival rate for one night? Usually that's all you need, is just one night for somebody to find you or for you to self-rescue. So, but with tonight's weather being not what I normally hunt, what my hunt pack is set up for, I'm going to take my hammock and my downed, I think it's a cocoon cover. It does the under layer and a top layer, so it's like a sleeping bag. I cannot remember what the weather rating is on this, so hopefully it's like 20 or sub-zero at least. And then I'm gonna have my tarp, my rain fly over top of me. I'm gonna use what I can out of my bag to make it a little more bearable, probably start a fire. But that's about best I can do right now. I'm fudging it a little bit with the hammock and the sleeping bag. It's not always in my pack with me, but I don't want to die tonight sleeping underneath a tree. So that's usually what I could do in my situation where I hunt coyotes and deer. Just crawl up underneath a juniper tree. There's plenty of bark underneath there, lots of dead wood. I could start a fire. I would probably make it through a night. I'd be miserable in late September, but I could probably do it with the gear that I'm always carrying with me in my fanny pack. So we're gonna go get this set up and hope we don't freeze tonight. So we'll see you in a little bit. Another thing I forgot to mention that's always on my person is what I have in my pocket. I've got always with me my multi-tool. That thing has always been a lifesaver, and I will never ever not carry it. If I'm flying somewhere, it's gonna be, if I'm just taking like a single carry-on bag, I will check that bag every time just so I can take my Leatherman on the plane with me. So it's always with me. I want this thing to spread like wildfire so that every outdoorsman and lady goes through their pack and assesses what they can and cannot do with their pack. I mean, don't take the whole kitchen sink, the entire house with you, but just a few essential things can make your night a lot better. So we're gonna get this hammock set up, get a fire going, and get ready for tonight. Okay, there we go. We're all set up finally. First time setting up this hammock with the sleeping bag quilt thing. I haven't done that yet, so that was kind of, took me a second to figure out how that worked, but we got it. So what I've got, let me just show you. Got my sleeping bag and hammock underneath the tarp. Then I've got my Ridgeline, just a basic setup. I did have to fabricate a tent pole. Just took a little piece of stick and went around it with my Leatherman saw and made it just a nick around it, and then I shaved up to it so I had a kind of a stop point, and then I tied my anchor to that and buried it. So hopefully the wind doesn't blow too bad tonight. Let's see what the weather is. It's getting cold. It's dropping in temperature. If you haven't noticed, I'm just in my backyard. I did not have time to come home from work today and get everything set up and then go find somewhere to do this. So my backyard was my fastest option. And it's not, it would have took me way too long to get out to where I normally hunt and do it realistically as possible with the juniper trees and sagebrush and all that. So I just decided to set it up here in my backyard. Right now our real feel is 33 degrees, and our hourly, we've got snow in the forecast. So it's gonna be a lovely night, and I will try and get a fire going. What I've got in mind for my fire is I'm going to go through the magnesium flint stick. For those of you who don't know how to use it or never used one before, these things are awesome. I really like them. And if that don't work, I'm going to resort to using one of my powder pellets for my muzzleloader. Now that can get a little sketchy sometimes if you don't know what you're doing, if you're not very careful. So that'll be our last resort to get a fire going. So we'll wait till it gets a little bit darker and we will give this a try. There's no try about this. I am gonna do it. I'm gonna stay in that stupid hammock tonight while it snows, and I'm gonna have my fingers crossed that I don't get called in to plow snow. So here we go. Alright guys, it's gotten a little bit darker now. Hopefully you can see me alright. We're gonna start a fire and get this night started. Probably just hang out here by the fire for a little bit, and then I'll crawl inside the old hammock. Probably listen to a few podcasts and whatnot and pass the night. So here we go. So with this magnesium flint stick, you've got on the one side that little bar of steel or flint, and on the other side is the magnesium. Now the trick is to scrape some of that off and then put it in your tinder bundle, and then you strike the flint and throw a big old spark onto it. It helps light the fire, get it going, which is great. It's been raining here a lot in the last little bit, kind of damp, everything's pretty moist, but I think I can get her going. So we're just going to scrape some of this off on this board and give her a whirl. That's not working worth a crap. Let's see here. There we go. And I'm just using the edge of my file on the skinny edge. I don't want to screw up my good sharp point on my knife trying to flake it off like you would whittle a piece of wood. Alright, so I kind of worked at this for like, I don't know, 5-10 minutes. That's a little bit of pile I got gathered up. That should be enough to get us going. So what I'm going to do is, just like on, if I was doing this on a birch, on a juniper tree, and strip the bark off. Get back over here. And you just rip it up. And I've actually done this with juniper and or cedar trees before. What you do is just rip it up, make it really nice and get them fibers good and small. This is okay, cottonwood bark, so it's kind of the same thing as the trees we have around here, the cedar trees stuff we have around here. Okay, so we're going to add the magnesium into the middle of that.
Some people can probably do it a lot prettier than that, but not me. Now let's go around. So we're gonna take our flint and our steel here. Come on. Well, that was stupid. I've dropped all my magnesium down in through the fibrous, and now the spark can't get to it because it's all spread out and onto the ground. So out comes a little pellet because it's starting to get dang cold out here. Now, let's see here. Let's not do the same thing. I'm gonna bust that up a little bit so I don't get some big old fireball in my face. Slide you guys back just a little bit. And try this again. Wrong end. Come on. There we go. That was a little more violent than I wanted it to be. All right. Just kind of slowly try and build this little thing up without putting it out now. Really glad that I moved that camera back. That would have sucked to burn up my new camera lens. Alright, we'll get this sucker going and we'll get back with you. Well, we got her going. It's going to take a little doctor in here to get her going to keep me warm. But obviously the gunpowder worked. You're kind of an idiot if you didn't think it would. Oh, crap. So I'm gonna tend this sucker and get her going, and hang out here by the fire. Hopefully it doesn't rain or snow, and we'll get inside the hammock, call her a night, and I'll keep you guys updated throughout the night, prove that I was really in there all night long, do hourly checks and whatnot like that. So here we go. Well, we finally got the fire going good, nice and toasty. I'm gonna let it go for a while, probably go to bed around 10 o'clock. Just checking in to do a time check with you guys. It is 7:42:43. So we'll just keep doing time checks every once in a while, and it's gonna be a good time. Probably gonna freeze to death tonight. Hopefully not. All right, we got a time check. It is 9:13. You probably can't see it, but it has just started to snow. So I put the fire out, And it's time to crawl into the hammock. So let me try and get in here, and I'll get right back with you, because this is going to be a pain in the butt with two hands, let alone one. Well, sorry. That wasn't as bad as I thought, trying to get in here. Never got in here with this sleeping bag on here before, but that was not that bad. Give you a quick weather update. It is 31 degrees. I don't know if you can see that or not. It has just started to snow, and it looks like it's going to snow till midnight. So that's a bonus. That's a plus, I guess. So I'm really glad I've got this sleeping bag. I've just barely got in and it's already starting to warm up. So I hope this tarp doesn't flap too much in the wind. I'm going to try and get up every so often and give you guys a hour report or a time check. So yeah, this is home. Never fails. As soon as you get all tucked in, finally get comfortable, starting to get warm, you always have to pee. It's gonna be a good night. But on the upside, it's fairly warm. Could be a lot better. My feet, my toes are still a little bit cold, but they'll get there hopefully. So this is kind of a survival slash gear test for me. I've never slept in a hammock. This hammock, I've laid in it for a few hours and took a little nap, but I've never spent a full night in it. So we're gonna see how I feel in the morning. Probably gonna have a sore back and not walk right for a day or three. So we'll see how this goes. Well, we've got 10:19 as a time check. It is still snowing. I was just gonna show you guys. It's snowing. For sure. Kind of crappily put this tarp up. It's sagging in a little bit, but it'll be alright, I guess. I'm not getting out to change it now. I just finally got everything warm. So that'll be education for next time. So try and get some sleep. See what time I wake up next. Well, we made it to midnight. It's still kind of snowing outside. Temperature is, I think, 25. Well, last I looked, not so bad if you don't mind your feet being frozen. That's about my only complaint about hammocks. My feet, I cannot get them warm. So I'm going to work on what I can figure out to do there. So we'll keep you updated. Time check is 3:22. Not bad. Out. Feet are still cold, but not too bad. Still snowing outside. Oh, let's do it. The weather report. "31 degrees. How's it going, everybody? Hope you can see me okay. Still snowing. That's 5:20 a.m. Hope you can see that. That was actually not as bad as I thought. Kind of comfortable. My feet are still cold. Nothing I could do could keep them warm, so it is what it is. But we made it. I guess whatever I call it. I'm gonna go in. Get warm. We'll see you in a minute. Yeah, it snowed. Tarp kept me pretty dang dry, thankfully. I did alright. I probably should have closed that off, but that worked. Okay. We'll see you guys in a little bit. Well, there we have it. Survived the night. I could have stayed out here longer than what I did, but I got sick of having cold feet. Went inside. It was easily survivable, but the thing that made it the worst was this hammock blanket. Has that hole right there for that thing to run through. Let all that cold air right on my feet. So I've got to rethink this sleep system and go from there, but other than that, not too bad. Well, thanks for watching. Sorry it was so long, but I felt like it needed to be about that long to cover some of the stuff I wanted to show you guys. Going through my pack, I'm definitely going to make a few changes. You know, I went through there and I got to thinking, man, I don't even have one Band-Aid in my pack. So definitely going to be putting some first aid stuff in there. Probably just a minimal amount for that fanny pack. And then in my big pack, I'm going to probably go a little bit heavier duty with probably a low end small trauma kit type of thing. So definitely go through your packs, check them out before you go shed hunting, before you head out. Make sure you've got just a few things that could make your one night or a couple nights better to help you survive. So remember to like, subscribe, and share. Send this video to all your hunting buddies, anybody that does fishing, hunting, anything, and make sure that they have the gear that they need. Thanks for watching. We'll catch you on the next one.